Be here whenever she arrives, whenever she lands here, and we're doing a recording as well, so the people who have got the app, you'll get this recording. So if there's something in here that it's like any information that we get over time, our brains can only take in so much, and then we've got to actually rely on, oh, what was it they said again? So we make changes, but we don't sort of take it all the way because we can only remember so much. So the recording will be very good to be able to watch if you're interested. Anyway, you all know who I am. I'm Jane Rushton. So I have had what made me do Money Grows on Trees is because I've had a lot of people ask me what's money growing on trees, you know, what does it mean? And just, you know, some people said to me, I'm a bookkeeper, I know all about my digits, I don't need to know that. But they actually don't have money flowing into their life. So a lot of bookkeepers and accountants actually don't have that flow happening. They know what they look like on paper, but not why isn't it flowing and why do I have to still have that belief I have to work hard to earn money. So hence I'm running today, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about when I was really young. I grew up in Christchurch, and my dad had a gift shop in town, and we used to go, when I was about 6 years of age, I was the second youngest of 7, and I used to go into the shop and he'd say, come in, and we used to just stack little boxes. And so it was a gift shop, had all little trinkets and gifts from all around the world. And if you can just imagine that you go as a little child into the shop and you just see all these shiny objects, it'd be brass and it'd be glass and little, I don't remember, these little whimsies, these little animals and things, and I used to collect them as well, but we weren't actually allowed to touch them. But Dad would unpack them all, and we thought it was exciting that we got to go into this big flash shop, and if you touched anything and you broke it, you had to pay for it. It was one of those shops, gift shops. So we got in charge of packing the boxes, and on the boxes it would have the wee pictures of all these trinkets and all these beautiful ornaments that we had. And I used to just think it was the prize joy of me to go into the shop, and that I was old enough at 6 to go in there. My little brother, he wasn't allowed to come until he was 6, so that was our graduation. And just stacking these boxes, and he would set us a goal of how many boxes we could stack in these little cubicle boxes. It's like he just had stacked crates, and we had to get them all in there, because when people would go into the shop to buy one, he had to go off and get to the box and repack it for them to actually give it to them so they didn't break. So that was the age of 6, and he would just give us pocket money, random pocket money. And my mother used to say, let's set up a bank account for that. And so that was exciting because that was maturity. So she set up a bank account for us, and she'd say put some of the money in the bank account and the other, a little bit, just spend it, do what you want. You know, it was the local dairy, that's what we wanted. So we'd run around the local dairy and we'd buy, it's called Double R, was the bottles, the drink, some of you would remember that. And even when you drank the Double R fizzy drink, you could actually take the bottles back and you'd get some money for them. So it was a really good deal. And Mum taught us to be frugal. Then she would also say, well, let's do bottle drives for money. So you could actually, we'd got a trailer on the back of the car, and she would just say it's a bottle drive day, and we'd get in the car around all the neighbourhood and just knock on doors, have you got any Double R, have you got any bottles, and then take them and actually get money for that. Again, some money would go in the bank and some money we were allowed to spend any way we wanted to spend it. So as we graduated in maturity, we were eventually allowed to take the ornaments out of the boxes, and then we were allowed to stack them. So still, you know, allowed to stack them. That was amazing. But the longer we worked there, it was good because the more money we got. So we were happy to still stack them and actually get the ornaments out. And we weren't allowed to put them on the glass shelves at this stage. So it was very much as we went up. And Dad would put us in the car after we worked there, and it would be in the weekends that we'd go and work. And there was this place, this ice cream place, and it was called Ice Cream Charlie. That's right. And everyone wanted that ice cream. It was very special ice cream. It was like handmade. They made it in this van, and would go there and they would pour raspberry on it, like natural raspberry. It was just so beautiful, and we'd get that. So that was the extra treat. That was the bonus that we got as well. So we didn't just get going into Dad's shop to do this, go into the shop that was only for adults. We actually got to do some jobs. We got paid, but he also gave us a bonus of an ice cream at the end. So he actually knew how to keep us excited and to keep coming back for more. And occasionally he would just drop some money and say, if you found some money, you can keep it. he'd drop 50 cents. Sometimes he'd put them in the car, he would hide it in the car, we didn't know till later. He would hide it in the car and he would say, clean the car, if you find any money you can keep it. And we used to go, oh wow, that's fantastic. So we'd find the money and then again Mum would say, keep some and spend some. So I learned that at a very young age. And as I was getting older in life and I got my own jobs, I started at 14, my mum was, I got into sewing at a young age, and Mum and Dad were very business orientated. So I started to make not designer really, it was just ski gear. So it was vests and dungarees, because I was a skier, for people at school. So I started making them, changing the designs a little bit, quirking them up, and I'd sell those for quite good money. And then I started doing lumber rolls for the back. Mum connected with a hospital, and I started making those. So as I was at school, I was already in business and I already started to make money. I'd save some and I'd spend some, but as time went on, I started to save more and more. And my mum used to say, just remember, don't waste money. It doesn't grow on trees. Just make sure that you're saving enough. And when I was 15, she set up a home ownership account for us. And in that home ownership account in New Zealand at the time, you couldn't touch it. It was there, it was run by the government, and you couldn't touch it until, I think it was a certain age actually, maybe 20, 21, do you remember?
I think it was when you were buying, when you actually bought a house.
Oh, when you actually bought a house. So it was a really, really good incentive. So at the age of 15 we set that up, and then Mum started buying properties, and the little bit of money we'd saved outside that, we all put in our percentage. So if it was only 5% or 2% or 3 or 10, whatever, we'd buy the house, we'd all go and help do it up, we'd sell it and we'd get our percentage back. And that was how she allowed money to grow in our bank accounts, and we'd put that money that we earned, again, a percentage in the bank account for money on the house and some to play with if we wanted to, which I used for travel. So I got brought up with that, but it was also, and the thing with that as well is that Mum always said, just make sure that you know what you're spending your money on. Don't waste it on this, don't waste it on that. And my mother had been through the Depression. So at the age of 10, she lived in Timaru. And in Timaru at the time, her mother had this cool bike, used to make babies' clothes and go around selling them. But she also, her husband was a plumber, she also had a maid. So she had a maid and they had a cook, and then all of a sudden the Depression hit and they lost everything. They didn't get paid for anything, they lost it, and it just literally ruined their life, especially her father, who never ever recovered from it. So here they moved up to Christchurch into a little house, and so they were stuck in that, how do we go forward with money now? So Mum's beliefs, was based on that. It's about how, you know, they had so much, and very, you know, they shared it around, and they were very flamboyant with what they had. And then learning to actually, I have to do another way. At the age of 10, she remembered all that. So her mother created a whole set of new beliefs around money, because she had this big change in her life. And prior to that, she had different beliefs. But it was a real shock that you just can't, you've got to be ready for a rainy day, so to speak, which we all understand that. So in saying that, I'm going to start with what we are all here for today, when I can find my wee clicker here. So this is me. I'm an NLP practitioner trainer, timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, and NLP coaching. I'm also an author and international speaker as well, so obviously not any longer with COVID. And actually it's very glorified international speaking too. Everyone goes wild about it. You're away from home a lot, you do a lot of travelling, they pay you very well, but the amount of time preparing for it and going there and going back, it's just a very glorified title. So if you're thinking about it, don't tell us. And I've just become the finalist in the Business Excel Awards, so for BX. So that's fun to get acknowledged, because I do a lot of work over the years, and I really, really enjoy it, and it's nice to be recognised you're actually going the right way. That's what the awards do. You go, oh, I'm doing something right in the right direction. So money grows on trees. This is the one-day events that I run a lot of. Now the app launch, you all know about that, and some of you have already got the app launch there. This is going to be recorded and it's going to be on the app. Now if you go forward and do, so I do the coaching, and in the business values elicitation package, that is the one that it's not just business values, it's money values, and it's the values, it's changing our beliefs. So anything that's not flowing in our life, like the river, and isn't going as smooth as we want, it's because our values are unaligned, they're not aligned. Values is the hierarchy of getting where we want to go to have that really nice balance in life. So it's a little like a boat, because I've got a sailor here, and it's going on the sea. When life gets rocky and then sometimes it gets smooth, it's like some of our values are being met and then others aren't being met, and we get rocky again, and we wonder why is it always smooth and then why does it go rocky? And it's like life, it's just a roller coaster, but it's just like in the water when you're sailing. So it's about, and people go, why is it like that? And you do course after course after course to find out, well, what is it? And you go, you get it, and then it happens again. You go, oh, I thought I'd actually clicked this time and got it right. And you do lots of coaching and things as well, and you get it, and this change is happening, oh, it's really good, but then it happens again, like maybe in a relationship, maybe with money, maybe in business, maybe career, maybe in health. It's another area where you can get really good with health and then it slips back again. You think you're actually getting well and then something else pops up. It just happens in all areas. So it's the values. Hypnosis is a really great way of getting, as the hypnotherapists who've just done the 3-day hypnotherapy about a month ago, wasn't it? Who are graduating this afternoon, by the way. At the end of the day, there's a few more coming. Is a really great way to make changes in your life, and actually that is a way to also help change the values so they're aligned to what you really want. We don't know what we really want with values. Our values are based on how we've been brought up and how we believe. Okay, and NLP practitioner, when you with the practitioner, that is all this is going to be online on my app as well, which is going to be amazing. It's all going to be very accessible, so it's just a touch